Hey, I'm Tortor and I'm a stop motion animator, and in this video I'm going to be talking about this stuff, plasticine, and in particular how to keep yourself, your environment and the plasticine clean whilst animating. This is a question I have been asked twice recently by you, the viewers, because some of you just didn't realise quite how messy plasticine can be. It is a messy material, it gets sticky, it leaves marks, it makes you and your hands dirty. So 5 tips from me right now, how to use this stuff like a pro. So tip number 1, if you're animating on a hard surface like a table, it's going to leave smears on that surface, especially if it's a light colour like white and you're using dark coloured plasticine. You're going to get little marks, little oily residues. Now, a really easy tip to correct that are cotton buds or earbuds or Q-tips. Basically, these things that you use to clean your ears. What you can do is, in between pictures, when you've moved a bit of clay, it's left a bit of a smudge, you go in there with this Q-tip and you rub the table and it picks up all of that smeary plasticine onto the Q-tip, and then you take your picture and the environment is clean and you haven't got that disgusting mark that is just ruining everything. So Q-tips, they're cheap, they're easy to get hold of, and it takes a bit of time, but you go in there every frame between pictures, you just rub those marks away. It's like an eraser, but for plasticine. So Q-tips are my first tip. Literally. Tip number 2, if you're animating onto a paper surface, perhaps you've put down paper as the base for your set, get yourself some more paper and cut a piece of the same type of paper, the same colour, that will sit nicely below your actual plasticine that you're moving, and that will protect your big sheet of paper from getting oily marks and residue from the plasticine. Instead, you'll make this little tiny piece that you've cut to go underneath your plasticine dirty, and your big piece of paper will stay clean. If you don't want to use paper, you could also use a piece of plastic, or even potentially tear a little bit of cling film plastic and use that instead. Just have this underneath your plasticine. But the thing with cling film, it's got less friction, so it may mean, you have to take a bit of greater care because your plasticine might slip about on the paper. So yeah, bear that in mind. Tip number 3, how long are your fingernails? If you have any sort of length longer than your soft part of your finger, cut it off. Keep your nails short because your nails can dig into the plasticine. Now, that not only creates a ugly aesthetic because you're getting these little marks, it will slow you down, you have to smooth stuff down, and if you've been touching multiple colours with your fingers, then it's going to make things a mess. So keep your nails as short as you can, and that's going to help minimise the amount of damage that you cause to your plasticine, which hopefully will limit the amount of spread of mess that you make from colour to colour. Also, just be kind of aware of where you're placing your fingers, and I guess try and touch as little as you can between frames. So hold your puppet or your plasticine strategically to minimise your hand contact with your clay. Now, my tip number 4 is baby wipes. These are really good to clean your hands. So if you are handling multiple colours of plasticine, you can just wipe your fingers on the baby wipe and it gets that plasticine off far better than soap and water. Baby wipes are really good, so make sure you have some of those to hand. You can even use them to rub the plasticine if you've got a mark to try and get it off, but sometimes the fibres in the baby wipe can come off on your plasticine and that can make more of a mess, so I wouldn't really advise using them in that way, but definitely use them for cleaning your fingertips. And yeah, they are another really cheap and easy hack for keeping your plasticine and yourself clean whilst animating. And my final tip for you on how to keep your animation area clean and your clay clean is cling film. So if in particular you are animating a larger project, perhaps it's something that is going to take you more than one day. So you're going to be animating, but you haven't quite finished what you're doing, so you need to leave it and then perhaps continue with it the next day or a few days later. What you want to do is get a bit of cling film and loosely drape it over your plasticine puppets or objects, because that will prevent any dust or particles landing on your plasticine and getting stuck. That can also, you know, ruin the consistency of colour and just make things look grubby and dirty. So yeah, cling film, another really easy to get hold of and cheap thing, is going to be your friend if you're animating for long periods of time and you want to keep your plasticine characters clean. Even if you've finished animating and you want to keep your plasticine characters clean, perhaps you want to use them again in a future animation, wrapping loosely with cling film is a way to protect them from dust and other particles as well. So those were my top 5 tips for how to keep yourself, your plasticine and your environment, your set, clean. If you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and if you've got any other tips relating to plasticine and how to keep things and yourself clean, then do drop them down in the comments, because they'll help the whole community out. If there are any topics that you'd like me to cover in a future video, any questions that you have, also let me know, because just like with this one, I'm open to suggestions and I'm happy to share my advice and things that I know. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will catch you again